All right, we got the Sunflower State showdown here. Kansas State, Kansas. Kansas 3-point home favorites, 56.5 the total here in this game. And shout out to Ron Crawford. Thank you for, there we go, one of our favorites, Ron Crawford.
Yes.
Thank you for being a member. Thanks for joining us here. As always, appreciate that very
One of my
much.
favorites.
Good stuff. All right, as far as this game goes, my first thought is long term, and I mean this goes back a really long time. Kansas has had no success against Kansas State. It's crazy. And this goes back to Bill Snyder, when years and years ago, Bill Snyder would kick Kansas ass every single year when he was coach of this team. Year in it. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is just Kansas State dominance over Kansas. 10-0 straight up. Now, only 5-5 against the spread, but Kansas State's been big favorites in a lot of these games. Now they're actually a slight underdog. Just based on series history alone, I can't get there with Kansas here, laying 3. I can't. They've been dominated. They've been treated like a human pinata by Kansas State for not just years, decades. Like, it's been decades of Kansas State just whipping on Kansas. Now, I get it. This year, Kansas has a pretty good team. These teams are much closer to even. Kansas State's had a disappointing season so far, especially early, but Kansas State's starting to turn the corner. They had the bad loss to Iowa State, to Army. They almost lost to North Dakota. They lost to Arizona. They had the bye week, and they're 3-0 against the spread since the bye week for Chris Kleiman. They beat UCF by 14. They lost to Baylor but covered the number in defeat, and then they beat TCU 41-28 in their last game. Both teams off a bye, so there's no advantage there. I can only look at Kansas State here. They're 3-0 against the spread since their last bye week. They're playing better football. They've owned this series, and they're an underdog. So just based on the series history, it's +3 or nothing here for Kansas State. And as always with Kansas State, we don't love Avery Johnson necessarily. Can they run the football here in this game? And when you look at the run game and the run defense here for Kansas, hasn't been great lately. They've given up 5 yards per carry, 188 per game on the ground. That's not what I want to see when you've got to go up against a very, very capable back like Dylan Edwards here for Kansas State in this game, although he is questionable. So keep an eye on his status. He's had been in and out with injuries this year. We'll see if he plays.
Yeah, they don't need him.
And the other running backs can step up if he doesn't play. But, yeah, this is Kansas State or nothing for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yes, I'm on K-State. Take the few points. They win outright here. Money line.
Kansas.
Yeah. And I'm a huge Johnson fan. Yeah, this is a little bit of a different team to start the year, I think. And just a bad spot. They playing a little bit better. They get these wins. Then they get the bye. I'm shocked a little bit that this was the number, too. I thought it could be like a pick 'em in this one. I know Kansas. I'm sure they want to beat them here at Kansas. But their defense still is not good. I mean, they are at home. You talked about it. I don't trust this defense at all. And I really don't trust. I don't trust both these quarterbacks, so that could be key, of course, in this game. But I think K-State just the better team off the bye here. Yep. Take the 3, but I think they win money line.